Welcome to XGR, the only radio show on the Xpound to feature Rick the Hammer. Yes, I just took a dig. You'll be there probably next week. Even though your pictures up, you'll be there next week. But as per usual, we start off with the news. When we go on to what games we played this week, give our thoughts. And then we go on to a topic of the week. This week is paid reviews and whether or not we think they're good, bad, or whether or not it's hurting the industry. To take us away with the news, first up, from Australia, give a big round of applause for the one, the only, the guy you love to hate, the Fallen Angel!
You idiot.
You wanted an intro.
I don't remember him asking for one.
And what an intro.
It was an intro with 50% more mana G.
Overcompensating testosterone for sure.
It was. I was in radio mood.
I can see that.
Alright, well, to start off the news, we have some WWE 2K14. 2K Sports has announced the next round of matches to be included in the new 30 Years of WrestleMania mode of the upcoming game. After naming the matches that will be recreated in the Hulkamania and New Generation eras, here is the official list of matches from the Attitude Era. From WrestleMania 14, Undertaker vs. Kane. From WrestleMania 15, WWE Champion The Rock vs. Stone Cold Steve Austin. WrestleMania 2000, WWE Champion Triple H vs. The Rock vs. Big Show vs. Mick Foley. And WrestleMania 17, WWE Champion The Rock vs. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Thoughts, people. Thoughts. What are your thoughts on this?
Nice, but for WrestleMania 2000, they can't do that match accurately. Unless they do 8 people at once, because when it actually happened at WrestleMania 2000, each one had a McMahon in their corner.
Oh.
Yep. I believe Mick Foley had Linda, Big Show had Shane, I want to say. Triple H obviously had Stephanie, and who was the other one?
The Rock.
Okay, yeah, Dwayne Johnson probably had McMahon.
Yeah.
That's why I'm now calling him Dwayne. I'm like the cool kids.
Alright. The title of this one, yep, Grand Theft Auto 5 is making a crap load of money.
Oh, does that come out this week?
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've heard nothing about it.
US 800 million. That's the first day sell-through number for Grand Theft Auto 5. The highest in GTA history. And then there's like a little excerpt from fucking, where is it? Take-Two. And Rockstar Games. In North America alone, more than 8,300 stores open their doors at midnight to sell the game. So, yay.
Can I just point out, it may have made the most money out of Grand Theft Auto history, but logically speaking, if the exact same amount of people bought each Grand Theft Auto, it would still make the most money because it's the most expensive Grand Theft Auto in history. Because it's like £50, whereas Grand Theft Auto 4 was like 40. The PS3 games were like 30, 40 when they came out too.
Yeah. And my last bit of news, it is to do with the game, so I thought why not. In the Daily Mirror over in the UK, you probably know it.
Cheap pop, woo!
Driven to Kill by Call of Duty. A maniac spent 18 hours a day playing violent video games. So apparently he killed people, and yeah, now they're blaming it on video games.
Yep, and whenever he gets released, we will have the Crispy back on this show.
Yeah. Aaron Alexis went on a gun rampage after becoming addicted to this violent video game.
Nice. Okay, so now that was Kage. Okay. The only woman to feature in XGR. You may know her as Anastasia, Geeky Girl, or Laserbeam. Or you may just simply know her as Pew 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 Pew. Give it up for what's her name?
Seriously, you give me all those names and you still call me what's her name?
To be fair, I listed all your names and then I gave you that one.
Oh my god.
Earthworm Jim.
What was that?
Isn't that the princess in Earthworm Jim? What's her name?
She might be. Okay,
Where's
now
Jim? You need him to look something up.
okay, then give it up for Stacy.
Ooh. Alright, since we're all talking about Grand Theft Auto, like, there was an article actually in the New Yorker, that I had the title, like, really intrigued me. It says, how evil should a video game allow you to be?
Depends on the video game.
So basically what they're saying that, they're basically comparing, Grand Theft Auto to, let's see, a 1981 novel in which Hitler survived the Second World War and is given an opportunity to defend his crimes. So apparently that was a big tragedy. So is it as bad as allowing Hitler to live?
Yes.
Also...
and that needs to be one of the choices in a BioWare game.
And also, they also compare it to, like, on the Atari 2600, you may know, they didn't really have, the lock chips, so you could, like, make a bunch of, like, hack games and stuff.
Yeah.
And the Custer's Revenge, the one where you're, like, the, General Custer and you rape Native Americans, you know? They said this game is like Grand Theft Auto, is just like that. Well, I think at least in Grand Theft Auto, all the women you have sex with, you're probably paying for it, so it's probably consensual, I'm guessing. You know, you're not exactly raping unwilling women and you just see their tears on their face, you know, in high graphics.
Well, to be
that
fair,
game hasn't been invented yet.
To be fair, you have sex with them for money, you then kill them and get your money back.
Yes, but that's two separate things. That's two separate things. That's a business exchange.
It's two separate things, but they're both illegal.
They're both illegal, but you're not raping them, because, you know, murder's okay, but rape is not.
Yep. Yeah, prostitution's okay. Those Pikmin 3 games won't pay for themselves.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm kidding. You've never prostituted yourself for cash. Allegedly.
No. I just think it's really interesting that they're using these really obscure references that don't really relate to this at all. One of them's not even a game. And this other game that they're actually comparing it to is the Atari 2600, which I think is kind of hard. Yeah, it's totally relevant, you know? Totally compare, like, the next-gen, freaking Grand Theft Auto. They're exactly the same.
Yeah, like I said, it depends on the game. Like, Disney Infinity, I don't want to see rape, killing, and shit and that. Well,
really?
Yeah.
Well, sure. You want to
sure.
see Mickey? I have, like, tears on his face.
The rape playset. You just...
And Goofy didn't know he was actually being told to do it, you know? So we have Take Me to Your Grave, the Disney edition.
No, but at the same time, I personally would like to see stuff like that in, like, Saints Row, Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, stuff like that, because it's like films. If I'm going to watch a Pixar film, I'm going to see a happy-go-lucky thing. But yeah, are you going to criticize all films because suddenly something will come out like The Human Centipede?
Yeah.
Or The Human Centipede 2, in which it's a sequel to the first one. It's not quite as good. The acting's not quite as good. And the guy basically is sexually aroused by the events of the first one. Weren't we all? But...
Isn't it in black and white?
No, those films exist. There's Human Centipede 1 and 2. You should watch them, Stace. They're good films. But
I saw the first one, but I heard the second one is in black and white, so I didn't watch it.
Yeah, they're all complete. It's not, because the second one is basically... It's sort of like, you know, films that are very self-aware, they're films?
Yeah.
Like the Genius Shakespeare plays, where they used to address the audience. It's like that, and instead of the audience, it's a computer. Instead of addressing, it's masturbating while watching the events of the first film.
That sounds like something that I would not be into.
That needs to be a review for the box.
Yes.
But anyway.
My point was, you get the violence in films, you get violence in TV, you get violence in songs, you get violence in books, in magazines, everything. Why people only target video games because video games are popular, and they're like, ooh, look, this should be a quick way of becoming famous. It worked for Jack Thompson.
Yeah, but like, I'm thinking, this is like the New Yorker. It's like a very reputable, like, you know, I would have thought that it would have had at least something a little more, you know, strong behind it. They would have tried a little more to like. Yeah, I mean, it's not like this is the, like hobo, like, newspaper, you know? So, then a few little mini newses here. So, Wii U Pro controller, is it being phased out? And a lot of them are going on, clearance, bins for the Wii U Pro controller.
Why are they getting the Wii U Pro controller?
The white one. Just the white one.
Okay, hey Rick, go and pick up a white one.
Yeah, because they're I think they're phasing the white ones out. They're on clearance now. Like the white ones, the white ones are $24.99 now. But if you buy a black one, it is for $49.99. So I think they're just getting rid of them all.
They're idiots. If it's taught me anything over the years with Wii control pads, PS3 control pads, 360 ones. People like buying control pads that look different to their systems, so they can tell their pad apart from all the other ones that look black. I did it with camouflage. I'm going to do it again with the God of War pad when in like a couple of paydays after the mishap of one of my control pads.
I want a different color one, so you'll know who the second player is. The second player gets the one that's not matched.
See,
that's why it's not their console.
I do it the other way around. I'm like, oh, do you want to play second player? Fine, generic pad for you. Yeah, look at my camo. Be jealous. Or, in the words of Stacy, be gel.
I don't say that. I say jelly belly.
Okay, be gel.
Nah.
Okay, fine. Be jelly belly.
Yeah.
See, I would say that, but most of my friends are my size. So I say to them, yeah, be jelly belly, they'll just look down at their stomach and be like, too late. But no. Continue, pew.
Okay, another little mini news. German, Uncharted for PlayStation 4.
Can I suggest something from now on?
What?
If anyone has a mini news, they have to do it in a really high-pitched voice, like they've shrunk down and become a mini reviewer.
Achtung! Okay. German Uncharted!
There we go.
But, yeah, so on this German GameStop page, it says Uncharted for the PS4, but it doesn't tell you what PS4 game it's going to be or anything about the game, and everything about it is unknown. And right now it's €100. I think that it could be just a placeholder price, because that's like 135, Lowell said, 135 American dollars.
Yes,
which is, like,
according
ridiculous.
to XG.com.
Yeah, so that's like retarded price. So that's not going to obviously be the real one unless some crazy shit.
Yeah, it could be bundled with something, like a control pad. It could be a stand-in price to basically, like we said, a placeholder for until the game comes out. Or it could be something like, it could be a collector's edition of the game. We don't know.
Oh, I don't think it's a bundle because it only has the one and it says Uncharted. Usually if it's a bundle, they would, like, put, like, other stuff on the page where there's, like, nothing.
Yes, but it doesn't even have what the name of the game is.
Therefore, it has Uncharted. It has, like, the game is just Uncharted.
I'm guessing it's going to be Uncharted.
It's just, you know.
I'm guessing on PS4 it's going to be Uncharted 4, I want to say. 5, I don't know. Which 4. One? How many have there been? Slightly less than Halo?
But yeah.
Yeah, he's been milked.
Uncharted 4. I swear, like, in all the games, they keep fake killing Sully, and I'm always afraid that they're gonna do it for real.
Oh my god, I kept killing Sully too in my Disney Infinity playset.
Shut up. It's a different Sully. One of them is bangable.
I'm assuming you mean the blue one.
I think. The other one's really old. It's got to be the blue one.
It's got to be the blue one. I mean, isn't the blue one voiced by V. John Goodman?
Yeah.
No way, it's not the blue one.
Chicks love John Goodman.
Yeah.
Sully is mad sexy. He knows how to treat
It's in his name. He's a good man.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Stacy's blue, dabba diva, da
Oh
dabba
my
diva. So for any of our listeners out there, are you blue and fuzzy? Geeky Girl is available now for dating. Contact her at, and her Twitter below.
Thanks. Then, lastly...
Hey, you could get lucky. One of them could be Beast, voiced by Kelsey Grammer.
Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
At least they get teleportation powers. What exactly are Beast powers besides being socially awkward and fucking up shit?
He can eat banana with his feet.
Oh,
And by banana, he means banana.
Yeah. And by eat, I mean... No. This is going to a horribly horrible place.
Yeah.
I'm almost tempted to turn my Sully figure around now so he doesn't have to look at me with those eyes that are now filled with judgment.
But lastly, I'm talking about there's video games in the potty. You know, you run video games over your urinal. You got snowboarding, you got penguin rhythm games, and one of these games is called On the Piss. That's literally the name of the game. And it's a bunch of penguins dance at you while riding a snowboard.
Well, to be fair, anyone that's ever played a free-to-play game with microtransactions has, at some point in time, pissed away their money.
This guy pissed away his money because he spent $11,000 on frickin' these urinal video game things. So that's like really.
What's scarier is most of the urinal ones I've seen are controlled with piss. Therefore, that guy may have a serious bladder problem if he's managed to play it that much.
And don't forget, you can put your freaking high scores on Facebook or Twitter, you know, because you're going to want to let everybody know and your girlfriend know how high score you got. Because they were talking about how they go to their favorite bar all the time just to beat the next guy who left, you know, his new piss high score of, you know, catch the urinating on the freaking the penguin or whatever, you know, game.
I can't wait till they work in Twitter so you can be like, suck it, guys. I'm the hashtag urinal king.
Yeah. I can have my urinal
champion.
cake and eat it too.
So yeah, $11,000 well spent. Let's see. It's a lot of money for, you know, just putting in for a bar, but you know. I wonder if they put the same things in the girls' bathrooms too. Like, I wonder. I don't know if they could, but like.
Yeah, it'll be like Railway Tycoon. Send the train through the tunnel.
Oh my god.
Or it'll be like Guitar Hero, where you have to open your vagina in just a certain way to get the right acoustics.
It's so horrible, but I'm thinking about all those freaking ladies with like 9 kids on leashes will get like the high score. Because they have like the perfect acoustics because of all the echoes and stuff, you know, because it's like a cave. But that is my news.
Okay, then lastly out of the other ones before mine, we will go over to, you know him as Rick the Hammer, you know him as the stay-at-home dad gamer, and soon to be starring in an upcoming reality TV show on CBS, The Bald and the Beautiful. Give it up for Rick the Hammer. I imagine that the Bald and the Beautiful is like the Osbournes, but with your family.
Yes.
So basically less swearing and more crying and diaper changing, or I don't know how old your kids are.
No, not less swearing if my wife's in the episode. Okay, my first bit of news. Just before the release of something called GTA 5, I don't know what that is, the Deep Silver, who now makes Saints Row, released a GATV pack, or GAT-V, or GAT-5, whatever you want to call it, a DLC pack, which has an outfit and hairstyle similar to Johnny Gat. a character who shows up several times in the games. And it was made free for the first day on Steam, and they also paid to promote #GATV on Twitter, which confused a lot of people that were excited about Grand Theft Auto, where people were like, why is Saints Row promoting that? That's a different company, and they spelled it wrong, and it's just, it's not as bad, but it reminds me of the story Mole told a couple months ago about the guy who's like, I'll donate $100,000 to charity if nobody retweets this, and then somebody retweeted. Well, several people did, but
yeah, but he did that intentionally to make him retweet it. That Ricky Gervais, awesome guy,
yes,
love him.
But it just reminds me of that, where like you could just do something so similar, and they're just like, oh, that must be Grand Theft Auto, and you're like, no, it's 4 letters. How are you getting this wrong?
Yeah.
But other than that, 2 bits of quick Kickstarter news. I was going to do them in high-pitched voices, but nah. One is that Mighty Number 9, which you may recall last week or the week before. The game that's like Mega Man, from the Mega Man creator, has now reached 2.2 million, so now they will have the Xbox, PS3, and Wii U versions available. And it still has just under 2 weeks left, so yeah, we'll see how crazy high that goes.
Nice.
And then in the vein of the right people maybe are listening to our podcast here, there is a new Kickstarter for Mutant Football League, which is made by the guy who made Mutant League Football.
Yes.
And so he's started up a Kickstarter to try to make basically, I guess a sequel, you'd call it, when did that come out? Like 18, 20-some years ago or something?
That was on the Mega Drive or Genesis. Yeah. I had that. I loved that game, as I've mentioned in the past. Love Mutant League Football.
I know, we've mentioned it a couple times, and then a Kickstarter shows up for it. That's what I found funny. Like, didn't we mention it a couple times in the past few weeks, and then boom.
We have. Maybe people are actually listening to this. Maybe the YouTube views are wrong.
I think so. I think the right people are listening. They're like, those 2 guys want Mutant League Football, so let's make Mutant Football League. But yeah, it's got 27 days to go. Doesn't have a whole lot of money yet, probably because a lot of people have criticized that it's like, it doesn't have like any gameplay. Like the pitch is all like theoretical stuff. But I think the artwork looks kind of cool. And right. The other problem is the lowest tier gives you, it's like 15 to get something, and you get the like iOS version of the game.
Oh God.
And as someone pointed out, like, wait, so the first version is the probably 99-cent mobile game, and you have to pay 15 for that. And if you want the Xbox 360 or the PS3 version, it's like $30, and it's like, But here's hoping for the best, because that would be awesome. I would love to see that.
I would love that
franchise revised, yeah.
And since the right people are listening, you know what I'd really like? What? I'd really like it if Superman 64 was put onto the Wii U's Virtual Console.
They have Simon's Simon's Quest, I think, for Castlevania, so why not?
Yep.
That's like the same game.
They're both really terrible.
Yeah. Well, they do have Zelda too, so. And then my last bit of news, I don't know if it's good or bad, but in Japan, Atlus's parent company, Index Corporation, has transferred management over to Sega Sammy Holdings. So basically now Atlus is part of Sega.
Sega! Say it right.
Sorry, it's part of
Sega. Thank you.
But Sega is still under, like, the bitch of Nintendo, so does that mean it's really Nintendo?
Nintendo doesn't own Sega.
No?
They're just on top of it. No, I'm just kidding. But,
no, Sega's just done a couple of exclusives for them, Stacey, to help them out. They're still a third-party developer. Hell, they've had recently Sonic Generations on PS3 and 360, awesome game. They had the Aliens, Colonel Marines on Xbox and PS3. Sonic Generations was an awesome game. They've done a few, but they're a third-party company.
Yes. And apparently they purchased it for 14 billion yen, or about 141 million. And
Say
some
that
people
again. Say that again. The yen price and do the Dr. Evil finger.
14 billion yen.
It's less impressive when you add yen at the end.
Because the yen is like worthless or whatever.
But yeah. So here's hoping that we actually still get Atlas games. I know a lot of people, and myself, I am also a little worried because Sega, some of their niche titles they have not brought over here, like Valkyria Chronicles 3 and a lot of the Shining Winds, Shining Force games. So I imagine they'll still bring out like Shin Megami Tensei and Persona games, but some of the other titles that Atlas brought out, we can hope for the best, but expect the worst, as I would say.
Yep.
Well, just have Sonic in them now instead of like the normal main character.
Yeah, one person's like, are they going to make a Persona All-Stars Racing? And someone's like, if it's as good as Sonic All-Stars Transformed, I'd play it. And I was like, I'd probably play that too.
I have to say it. Did they make they make JRPGs, don't they?
Yeah, mostly.
You know what I'm hoping for, right? I'm hoping for a Sonic RPG. We had one with Dark Chronicles, which was done by BioWare. I am aware of that. It wasn't a JRPG, it was an RPG. But I want a console Sonic RPG. That'd be fucking awesome.
Wait, you want a Sonic JRPG, did you say, or like?
I just want a Sonic RPG, period.
Okay, I thought you meant like a specific like JRPG.
No.
Did you try the BioWare one?
I have it. It's pretty fun.
Oh, okay.
I like it. Yeah, it was good if you're a fan of Sonic. If you're not a big fan of Sonic, it's not for you because it was all fan service. It'd be like tuning in on wrestling to watch the WWE old school style Raw. Unless you're a fan of wrestling, you're not going to get why it matters that Mark Henry's come out as sexual chocolate.
I'm thinking of Knuckles fan service now.
Like, for example, one of the things you could do in that game, Stace, you could be a complete dick to Tails. Yes, I was.
I bet you were.
You could actually get Sonic together with Amy.
I bet you like that.
I did. I've always wanted Sonic and Amy to be an official couple instead of her always being like, Sonic, I love you, and him being like, yeah, whatever, bitch, and runs off.
Give me a chili dog.
Yeah, I'm kind of like...
Give me some rings.
Yeah, I'm kind of like... At this point, I want them to be an official couple, because I'm sorry, I like Amy. She's my favourite Sonic character.
You want her to pop out little Sonics, don't you?
No, we've had enough Sonic clones. Hi, Shadow. Hi, Silver.
Yeah, she pops out a little Sonic and it's black, and he just is like, Amy, and she's like, oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Shadow's my baby daddy. I never want to hear baby daddy uttered. But no, was that the end of your news?
Yes, that was all my news.
Okay, since I gave everyone else an introduction, you know him, you love him, the greatest thing about XGR, and the greatest thing about WXR. He is the one, the only, the king of spades himself. Kneel before your king. Chris, aka the mole. But yes, first up, Wii Sports is going to be re-released.
Yay.
I'm actually excited for this one. Nintendo has announced Wii Sports Club, a collection of the Wii Sports mini-games reimagined in HD on the Wii. 5 of the activities from the original Wii Sports will be available. Bowling, tennis, baseball, boxing, and golf. All will make use of enhanced controls thanks to the fact it now reads Wii Motion Plus. It has online multiplayer, Rick. Hint, hint. Along with previous mentioned graphical improvements. You'll be able to register to regional clubs, compete against rival ones, as well as make use of Miiverse to interact with mid-match. And it says here, if you decide to download Wii Sports Club, you'll be given 24 hours free access to the available games to try it out. Once it runs out, you'll be able to buy a day pass from the eShop for just $1.99 a day. That will allow you to play all the activities for another 24 hours. Or you can buy it permanently for just $10.
Oh, nice.
That's cool. That's like renting.
Yep, or £8.99, which I'll be buying the £8.99, because I'm sorry, I'm probably going to play it more than 9 days. So it's going to be a case of, I'm going to buy it for 9 and make money. I'm practically printing money.
That's the only game I could ever get my parents to play.
Yep. When it comes to Wii Sports, my body is ready.
Because they like the Wiimote because it's simple. When I give them my other controller, like, the fuck am I supposed to do? There's like all these buttons and things. And then
yet they use a keyboard, right?
My mom is actually ridiculously good at typing. She's got like 130 words per minute or something, and she can't figure out a freaking controller. What the crap's up with that?
Yeah, and there's like older people that have like a remote that has like 80 buttons on it, and they're like, "Oh, I know where all those are." And you can't learn like 10 on a controller, and they're like, "I don't know what does the D-pad do?" Maybe it moves in the direction that is.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. It's just crazy. Like upside down and things, like really, like how does that even happen? Like,
yeah, I've had that before now. Someone I know that's old, who has basically said to us, I said to him, would you like to try this on? I gave him my PS3 pad. This is when I can't remember what game was on there, but it was one of the games I wanted to try. And they sat in my room, and they were like, cool, and they tried it out, and they were like, I don't know what the buttons and controls are. I've not played a game since PS1. And I was like, it's the same pad.
Well, my mom hasn't played a game since like Pac-Man Arcade, so.
I know, but it's the same pad. It makes no sense. But yes, will you be buying that, Richter? And if you do, if you get that, and if Stacy gets that, and if we can convince the Marcus Shadow to buy that, Wii Golf Tournament.
There you go.
Or how about we have a bowling night? I'll buy some bowling shirts for us that all say like, all say like hashtag Team Xpound on them.
You said it was like $8 or something?
Yeah, it's like $10 and you get them all, or it's $1.99 for a day.
Yeah, I'm either might get the day one or the $8.99 one, depending how like if everybody has it or not.
$9.99 for you. Like I said, $9.99 in dollars, $8.99 in pounds.
Yeah, I said if everybody gets it, I'll totally get it. Otherwise, I'll save up for Wind Waker HD still.
I'll be getting the $8.99 one. I'll be getting that. It's totally worth the price. I'm sorry, that's kind of worth it. I mean, Wii Sports, while it was free, it was actually really fun. I loved the tennis, I loved the baseball, I loved the boxing, I loved all of them. And with Wii Motion Plus, it's going to be even better to use those.
There's no doubt I'll get it eventually. It's just that right now, while I'm in college, my funds are limited.
They are. See the prostitution allegations made earlier. No, I'm kidding. Next bit of news is Batman Bundle. That's right.
I'm Bundle.
That's right. I have Batman news. But no, in anticipation of the upcoming Batman Arkham Origins, Warner Bros. Is releasing a Batman Arkham Bundle that brings together the first two excellent Batman Arkham games plus their respective Batman Arkham DLC. As listed by US retailer GameStop, the bundle includes Batman Arkham Asylum Game of the Year Edition with its 4 additional challenge maps: Scarecrow, Nightmare, Crime Alley, Total Insane, and Nocturnal Hunter. Then, also, as well as that, you also get the Batman Arkham City Game of the Year Edition, which is also bundled with Harley Quinn's Revenge missions, the Catwoman pack, the Nightwing bundle, the Robin bundle, the Challenge pack, and the Arkham City skins. This game is currently listed as $14.99 US, so $50, on GameStop's webpage, and it'll be available from the 23rd of this month on Xbox and PS3. Booyah, that was the Batman news. Your
That
thoughts?
was amazing. I want to almost, like, tag every time you say the word Batman and have it come up in, like, one of those little tag bubbles. Just so you can emphasize the number of times you say Batman.
Batman. But yeah. No one have any thoughts about that?
Does the PS3 one have the Joker map?
Yes,
in it?
It should do. It should do. It doesn't say it there, but I'd assume so, because it was on every PS3 copy.
Yeah, that's why I bought that one.
So if it's all the Arkham City skins, I'm still gonna get my
You're gonna get your
Batman Beyond one.
You're gonna get your naked Batman.
Am I gonna get? But no, yeah, Batman Beyond one, because oh my God, they gave Terry like the nicest, cutest ass. Like it's ridiculous. He just pretty much is body spray, like body paint. You know,
that's not
it's just
Terry.
ridiculous. It's not.
That's not Terry. Well, think about it.
Isn't he the one from Batman Beyond?
He is the one from Batman Beyond, but it's Bruce Wayne wearing Terry McGinnis's outfit. Because when he speaks in all the cutscenes and everything, and when he speaks, it's clearly Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, but like he has his body, like for most part of the game. And that's what I care about.
His body is ready.
Yes, it is. Oh my god, it is. I'm ready too. Let's do it.
I want you to do a Let's Play of that game, and like part 6 through 15 is all you just ogling him.
Yeah, there'll be plenty of that when I fail the frickin' training missions.
Speaking of Let's Plays, that'll segue maybe to my next bit of news. As you know, I've already uploaded the Diablo 3 console edition Let's Play on the Xpound channel, and I uploaded it onto the Gaming Zone after the Gaming Zone got sorted. Stupid YouTube. Stupid YouTube. Yeah. But Diablo 3 PC has got news. Blizzard has announced that Diablo 3's auction house will be shut down on March 18th, 2014. In a blog post on Diablo's official site, Blizzard's John Haidt explained that the auction house undermines the core gameplay of Diablo 3 and doesn't fit with the changes to the game in the upcoming Reapers of Souls expansion. So I know for a fact everyone's happy with that because Reapers of Souls brings in Loot 2.0. A lot of people didn't like the auction house, that's why PS3 seems to have the better loot and stuff on that console game. So, yeah, more on Diablo later. During the catch-up. Which takes me to the catch-up. First up, let's go in this same order again. Let's go with The Fallen Angel.
No. What have I played this week?
I Spy does not count.
I know I played Need for Speed Undercover on the PS3.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a bit of fun to get back into. I loaded it up and I had a look at when I last played it. It was 4 years ago.
I have to ask, is your PS3 is your PS3 next to your bed?
No, it's not.
You should have had it on your bed, then you could have played Need for Speed Undercover under your covers.
It's not fun.
I had no other jokes to make.
And I played a little bit of Disney Infinity. I got the villains pack and made them.
What do you think of the villains?
Oh, yeah. I need to get the playset for cars. I think I'm gonna get it today.
I want the playset for cars. I'm probably gonna pick that up in a week or two.
I'm gonna get them all eventually, so might as well just buy them.
I'm only gonna buy the ones I'm interested in. Like, I'm not gonna buy the Phineas and Ferb playset.
And in 2 weeks, I will.
I know what you're
One of
not
the characters is British.
And Canyon West and Kristen Stewart are American. Do you enjoy them?
But
I enjoy murdering them.
You enjoy looking like one of them.
I hate you.
You do. You do hate me. And I know what our audience is thinking. Ha ha, banter.
In 2 weeks, I'll be going down to the EB Games Expo in Sydney, so that'll be a lot of fun. And hopefully I'll be able to pick up a whole bunch of the frickin' sets and everything, and hopefully they've got some limited edition ones that I can get.
Nice. Okay, then how about you? Pew 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 pew.
Well,
pew.
You done? I feel like you're gonna squeeze one more pew in there. Well, I played. Oh my god, I knew it!
Okay, now I'm done.
Okay.
It needs to recharge.
I'll bet. So, games I played this week. Well, I downloaded Resident Evil, the HD remake thing, because I thought it was not going to be a rail shooter, and then it was, and that was very disappointing.
worth pointing out, this is the Resident Evil Chronicles from Wii ported over to PS3. The light gun game.
Yeah, it's like a rail shooter and a pretty crappy one at that. Is really annoying. And then there was this freaking and I never done Resident Evil before, so you can yell at me for not knowing the characters' like names or the plot lines or whatever. But like there's this lines? Yeah, I don't know if there is. Like they just shoot zombies or whatever the fuck. But like there was this dude, right? And he had like this kind of androgynous haircut and he had such giant man pecs that I thought like it was a girl for the longest time. But then he ended up talking like as soon as he had like a cutscene. I'm like, holy shit, you're supposed to be a guy, and I swear he has bigger boobs than mine, and I have pretty big boobs, and he's got man pecs, like really crazy man pecs, and that androgynous haircut. I'm like,
if you enjoyed that twist, you need to play Metroid.
I'm like, come on, like, is this guy like a Final Fantasy character? Is Titus just waiting for him, you know, or like, I'm serious. It was just crazy. Anyway. Yeah, it was kind of crappy, and it was 2 games, so they're both equally sucky. I think one of them was like Dark something.
One's the Umbrella Chronicles, the other is the Dark Side Chronicles, I think.
Okay, yeah, the Umbrella Chronicles were slightly more enjoyable than the Dark Side ones, but they were both kind of crappy.
I will say I owned both of those games and they were on Wii. If you're a fan of rail shooters, they're not entirely bad, but they're no House of the Dead.
Also, they support the Move, which I did not use because I didn't bring that with me to college.
I was going to ask that if you played it with the Move or just...
Yeah, but like I think it would be better because I freaking use the control sticks, and man, those are like terrible aiming. I'm like the most retarded like drunk shooter ever. I'm like everywhere because I can't like if I use the pistol, I can't get headshots. Like so, I'll just get like a machine gun or whatever I can get, and just shoot everything everywhere because I already know aiming's out.
You have the Move, you have the navigation.
You didn't bring it with college to me.
I know. I was saying when you get them, you need to buy the gun attachment. Then you'll be holding it in your hand and pulling the trigger and shooting at the TV properly. Then it'll be fun. That's how like I like to do like House of the Dead Overkill and shit like that. Look, rail shooters are one of those games. They're not that good. I mean, they're not the best genre out there, but they're fun to point at the TV and shoot shit.
Yeah, for House of the Dead, my friend had the Wiimote gun thing, so I played it. I played that on the Wii, but these were just like bleh. So.
Resident Evil, blah. I miss that, don't you, Victor?
Yes.
From the old Resident Evil games, I used to be Resident Evil, and I've played the new ones now, and now the guy's just phoning in. He's like, Resident Evil, and I'm like, where's the emotion? I think on one of them they may have had a woman go, Resident Evil, and I'm like, wait, am I supposed to be turned on or scared? Or both?
Both.
Yeah. Zombie sex.
They need
Thriller.
Need to mix them so it's like Resident Evil. It's the screw with people.
Resident Evil.
We need to get Simon. We need to get Simon to do the Resident Evil.
Yes.
Followed by like the gold dust.
He needs to be like lying on his. He needs to be lying on his back with his like knees up, saying "Bake me like baste me like one of your French girls" afterwards.
He needs to be naked on a bed of rose petals with a rose in his mouth. Look at the camera and go, "Resident Evil."
Yeah, he already is like freaking Tamaki from the Orange Host Club. So,
boom! 1 million copies sold.
And all the fangirls died of nosebleeds.
They need to re-release RE6 and just put that in the beginning, and it'll.
Another game that I played was I was playing Pikmin 3 again because I was showing my friend Radon, and I noticed that like playing it again, I'm even like more efficient than I was before. Like I got like shit done that took me like 3 days, and I did it in 1 day, and I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty proud of myself for getting all this stuff. And then I blew my mind when like my first original playthrough took like 50 days to complete the game, and then I read that like the best the quickest way to beat it for like the best I guess multitasking is 10 days. You only need 10 days to complete the game with 100% completioncy. Like And holy shit. Holy shit. I did it my first time in 50 days, and you could frickin' do it in 10 days in frickin', like, that's ridiculous. That is, like, I don't even know how you could do that. I don't think that, I didn't even, 100% completency in 10 days, bullshit. I call bullshit. You have to, like, never, ever, ever, like, frickin' lose a pigment, ever. And that is just, like, no, I don't believe it. You have to be resetting those days like a mofo, man. You'd be like, nope, lost one pigment, gotta restart. And I want to see how, and I'm gonna see how many actual, like, friggin' days they took. 'Cause that's friggin' crazy.
They could just be good at the game.
Shut up. You're not allowed to talk about Pigment 3.
You're right. We save me for the good games. Continue.
Shut the fuck up. And then lastly, I was playing more Binding of Isaac. Oh my god, that game's so freaking addicting. I will just spend like hours and hours and hours playing that. I freaking got past like how many? Like, I was on the penultimate, I guess, level you could say, the second to last level, and then I died. I died on some fucking spikes. Like, I hate myself. Like. Because I didn't even die by an enemy, I just, like, accidentally stepped on the spikes and had one heart left. I'm like, fuck. I finally got beat the part, that I, like, never always died at. And now I just died on some stupid goddamn spikes, and... So, it just hurts, because I was so close, and I was so close to beating it, and then I died. Like, why?
Why couldn't you be good at this game? Why?
I hate you! You're so mean! Alright, and those are the games that I play.
Okay, and speaking of fangirls, over to Rick the Hammer.
Oh, how is he in any way a fangirl?
He's not, but his milkshake brings other girls to the yard. No doubt.
I was going to say
it's
I'm
better
a fan
than
of
yours.
girls, but yeah, I'll
I
take that.
was going to say he might be a fan of milkshakes.
He's ear candy. Rick the Hammers are ear candy. Listen to when Rick the Hammer speaks. It's like someone's taking like a butterscotch and just like melting it and caressing it into your ear ever so lovingly.
Wow.
I just feel like my ears have been raped.
That's how I feel every time I hear Rick. I feel like my ears have been raped, but in a good way. It's like,
no,
it's like
no
the type
good
of
raping.
There's
There's
good
no
raping.
such thing as a good raping.
There is
He
good
still
raping.
calls the next day.
There is good raping where it's like for rape where there's rape where you rape someone and then the person's like, oh god, I was raped, and then afterwards they're like, you know what, that was actually pretty enjoyable.
No,
It's like in hindsight. It's like, you know when you go to Disneyland and you're like, when you're at Disneyland you're like, oh god, all these queues, but when you go back you're like, Space Mountain was actually pretty fun. It's like that in hindsight.
You can't compare a Disney ride to getting raped.
Depends on the ride.
Surprise sex is awesome.
You can if they're
Surprise
playing
sex
It's a
is
Small
awesome.
World after all.
Yeah.
No, because that's pedophilia.
But anyway, ear candy, go.
All right. First up, I finally beat and got the platinum for Dragon Fantasy Book 2, which is a pretty fun game. I beat it in about, I think it was like 13 hours, and then it was like some more hours past that for the rest of it. But it's fun, but definitely there's some there's a couple bugs, I will say. There are some glitches. Like there was one quest where I could not find, like one side quest where I couldn't find the target monster that I needed. And I know that the developer actually posts him, like the creator and one of the head programmers post on game FAQs, like legitimately. And so I was just like, hey, I can't find this monster. And the guy's like, oh, okay. Well, he's like, I figured out what was wrong. That'll be in the next patch. And it's just kind of funny that they're like bug shooting on game FAQs. But, pretty fun game. It's basically pays homage to 16-bit era RPGs like Chrono Trigger and Earthbound and stuff. And then next up, I played Foul Play on Xbox 360, which is I checked it out at PAX, and now that it's come out, I am checking it out.
Does
and
that involve
it is,
chickens?
Yes, it does not.
Okay.
Sadly.
I hope there's a game where you like lemmings but with chickens.
But it does involve a play. Because basically I like the premise, but it's this guy is basically recounting his life as a demon hunter, but it's like he's putting on a play. So like the backgrounds will move in, and like all the monsters are people in costume. So one level you fight werewolves, and it's just people with like big werewolf heads. Like it's just funny. It's very tongue in cheek, and it's supposed to be intentionally like, silly like that. And the like sometimes you see the janitor, and sometimes the people will crawl off stage, or one of those big those like hook canes from way back in the day where they pull people off stage. They have like those, and
yep. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I was actually playing it with my 6-year-old, and we haven't died or anything. He definitely can't get high hitting combos because he hasn't quite understood it, but he just loves running around punching everyone. And then, but you get these like charms, but you have to get, there's like 3 challenges per level, and if you get all 3 in one level, you'll get a charm, which you can equip. You can equip up to 2. And he keeps wondering why he doesn't get any, and I tell him because he doesn't do all the challenges, because some of them are just beyond him at 6, but I can do them. So it kind of sucks that we don't share the charms.
Tell him that you do share the charms, and that every time you get one, it's really because he helped you.
Oh, okay, just lie to him. Okay, that's cool.
See, it's the same thing you do when you let him have the controller and you unplug it,
See, Richter,
I haven't done that since he was 3, but yeah.
Remember, Geeky Girl's probably doing this because she herself was taught that way when she was growing up, and now she's the girl that can't do the levels on games, whereas if she'd been made to actually do the work, she'd be a damn good gamer by now.
Shut the fuck up.
I was helping.
You're evil.
Am I evil? Leave a message below.
Yes. No, I'm not one of those parents that takes their kids to an arcade and tells them that they're playing while it's running the intro thing. I remember when I was a kid seeing that, and I was like, that's horrible.
You see, I'll admit when I play a game with a kid, with kids, I do dumb down my skill at times.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Unless, and I've done this before now, if there's 2 kids here and they're both playing games and one of them's been really dickish towards the other one with, you're losing, making them really upset, that's when I'll pull out my skill and win.
Nice.
Be like, see, none of you won. Because I'm like, no,
that's what you mean?
Yeah, because I'm teaching them at an early age. When you're playing video games, it's not okay to scream at the TV. It is not okay to be a complete dick about it. Enjoy the games, because I think that's a valid thing. Which I know that's a foreign concept to some of the people we know.
But some people just miss the mark on that, and they need to regress a bit.
Did you just say some people missed the marcus on that?
Wow.
Yes, that's exactly what I said.
He's never going to listen to this.
No.
He's not in it.
Even then.
Yeah, no, that's Jim. Jim's the one that even if he's in it, just won't pay attention.
He gyms it.
Yeah, you're breaking up, Jim. Well, that meant something after, okay, we'll close off. Oh no, so, as you know, back in 1972. But no, I'm sorry, continue.
No, that was all I played this week.
Oh, okay, so that conversation just spun off nothing.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Went and left at the right time.
We did. Okay, I've played 2 games this week. First up, the HD reimagining of a classic video game that everyone's been waiting for. Which game am I on about, Stacey?
Shut the fuck up.
You don't like the HD reimagining of the games everyone's been waiting for?
I never played the game Shut the Fuck Up. Is it good?
No, let's play the game Light Mo on Fire.
No, the reason I say that is because the reason I said that is because there's multiple all released now. There's Kingdom Hearts, there's Zelda coming out, there's DuckTales. I played none of those 3. Mine was Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse.
Okay.
It's enjoyable. It's not great. It's not like the DuckTales one. It's enjoyable. It's just really simplistic. It feels easier than it used to. I don't like that. I prefer Challenger. I prefer more challenging thing. But I understand why they've done that, and it's still got some enjoyables. It looks good. The 3D models stuff look good, and I understand this isn't the game remake in HD. This is the game reimagined now. Because all the models and everything is completely different. I don't think there's anything left of the original. And the other game, Diablo 3 on PS3. I have officially completed the normal difficulty now as my wizard, or my witch as I call her. Booyah. Swish. And I got all the items and I went to XGR. Swish.
Yay.
And I got to kill My Little Ponies and Care Bears.
Is that worth the price of admission?
It depends on who you are. I think the Crispy didn't enjoy the fact it's, because some of the stuff has one of the items has a 5% drop rate. Which means you keep going back, keep going back, and eventually when you get them and you go there, it's just a really happy, cheery level filled with My Little Ponies and Care Bears, which not everyone enjoyed. I'll be honest, I enjoyed it. I thought it was totally worth it because I got to kill Care Bears and go die if I use my disintegration on a Care Bear. I was like, money worth, that's worth them, that was worth the £50 I paid for the game right there. Just melting a Care Bear's face. Or using one of my other attacks to slice My Little Pony in half, and the blood splatters across the floor. I'm like, this is worth it.
Nice.
You had me at
Just
Melted Care Bear's face.
Yep. And the good news, or as Jim would probably do, good news, everybody. No, but no.
Good news, everyone.
Yeah, but no.
Good news, everyone.
But the good news is if you, Richter,
Yes.
or you, Stacy,
Yes.
or you, Kage, or anyone that I know just ends up getting that game and we end up playing each other, after you've completed the first stage, after you complete the game or whatever, if I bring you into my game, I can pull you into Whimsy whenever I want because I've now got the staff for life.
Oh, aren't you so cool?
You know I just referenced that nowhere, don't you?
Yes.
For life. But no. It's not a case of it's cool, Stace. It's a case of, that means, let's say you want to experience the My Little Pony level, but you don't want to do the grinding and annoying crap or the work. Then you, Geeky Girl, can enter a good gamer's level, like mine, and I can be there to hold your hand through it.
Oh my god, I just want to take a chainsaw and chop off your parts so you can't wait for this.
It means he can Care Bear share the level with you.
Oh my god,
Share it, yeah.
You need to be sodomized.
And while we're playing, our friendship will be magic. I'm done. But those were the only two I've played this week, so let's move on to the topic. The topic of the week, paid reviews, good or bad, as in reviews that clearly the companies have funded to get better scores. How do we feel about them? Is it hurting the industry? Take it away first, Fallen Angel.
Oh.
Come on, yay.
Quick, someone shine the dingo logo into the sky.
Quick, the dingo ate my baby. Kage.
What? I don't know what the hell that is. He just linked us to, but yeah. Kage.
Tell your dog to stop yelling sarcastic remarks at your at the other family members who come back. That's what he was doing last time. He was yelling at his dog.
Okay, we appear to have lost Kage. So, the next best thing, take it away, Geeky Girl.
Thanks.
I meant next best thing as in, you were in order. It went Kage, you, Richter, me. That's how I did the order for this, because ironically, it's not random. While we're recording this on Skype, the boxes that I see are in the order. Fallen Angel, Stacy, Richter. And then obviously I'm not there, but I remember me because, well, I'm the most memorable one.
Right. Well, paid reviews, they seem very inconsistent. You could have, like Mo brought up, games that say they're perfect and then get not perfect scores, and then games that say they have flaws and then get 10s. And honestly, I think that nothing ever should get a 10, honestly, unless it literally, like, the divine light of good, God shines upon it. Like,
Unless it's like Superman 64 or E.T. levels are good, the game should not get a 10. That's what Geeky Girl was trying to say.
Oh my god.
That's not even close, is it?
That was basically like, please jump off this building and kill yourself now. Save yourself later.
If you jump off now, Stacey, you can earn a trophy.
Shut the fuck up.
The free fall challenge trophy.
Actually, there was a trophy for killing yourself and taking it out like a samurai in Portal 2. You had like the way of the samurai because you killed yourself, and he was talking about killing yourself as a samurai. And you got like another trophy, I think, for being like agreeable or something for killing yourself.
That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. But how about you, Ricky? Or Hammy, as you're now known.
Wow. I don't think games should get a 10, usually. They give them out too way often. But other than that, paid reviews, if they're paying for, like, a certain score or something, I don't think that's really good, because especially with a source with a lot of traffic, we'll say, that gets a lot of views or whatever, people are gonna trust that for whatever reason. But, and so, it's kind of misleading to do that. That's why, personally, I don't usually like to give scores. I'd rather make people read, because I think that's more informational than just looking and be like, oh, got an 80. Like, okay.
That's why you see it at the end.
Yes.
I give people...
I don't like to say them at all.
I give people scores on mine at the end.
Yeah.
But it's all video anyway, so you're going to have to watch to the end to get to the score, or you skip to the end.
Yeah.
I have credit, so you can't go to the very end, or else you'll miss it.
It's not Hulu. I think you can go backwards.
Yeah. It's not time travel. You can go backwards. Is that a geeky comment to make because of that new news that came out the other day?
Mm-hmm.
There was a time traveler over here that proved you can travel through time.
Uh-huh.
But you can only travel forward through time. You can never travel back, because the way you travel through time is you get in something that can travel the speed of light, and therefore you're moving so much faster than everyone else to get to where you want to go, or you can stay there going like just round the Earth as much as you like, faster than the speed of light. But you're going so fast, you're aging the same rate you normally would, but basically by the time you land on Earth, everyone else will have got old. So it's not really time travel, it's de-aging, but they called it time travel, because to you it'll be like you've time traveled. And I was like, fair enough, cool, but you can't go back. None of this is important to games, let's move on. Let's move on from the nerdy crap.
That was amazing.
Let's move on from the nerdy shit that people don't care about, and let's move on to video game scores.
Well, I know that one of the places I've been looking at recently there were several people yelling at a site called Polygon, because at some point in the past they took a chunk of money from Microsoft. I don't remember the exact amount, but and then like afterwards some of their scores for like PS3 exclusive titles were lower. So whether or not it's true, people can easily draw a conclusion that they're intentionally stacking the scores, and that's why, whether or not it's true, that looks bad, and that's going to affect, how people perceive you, and that will hurt you in the long run.
It does. It's like I always say when I go to do my reviews, I always say, don't try and do the reviews to try and pander to what the popular opinion is on the internet.
Yeah.
Don't do your review to try and make nice with the companies. Do your review because that's what you actually feel. Because I honestly feel, as an individual, and this may be a little bit more serious than I normally go into, but I feel if someone's if I'm putting a review up, I'm entering almost into sort of a verbal contract with a person where if they're sat down and they're watching it, they want to see me give my honest opinion. They want to see what I feel. They don't want to see me tell them everything they can find through Google searches. They don't want me to copy and read someone else's review. They don't want me to just say, oh, this company gave me the game, so I'm going to give it a 10.
Yeah.
They want to say, okay, this game has problems here, or this game, okay, this is what the game's like, this is what some of the modes are. Cool. They want information. They want honesty. They don't want fakeness, because if it's fakeness, it's not a review.
Yeah.
That's what I always have, but always have informative first.
It is. It's like I'm going to say something which might be a little unpopular when this goes up, but we don't have enough views to probably criticize it, so who cares? GTA fanboys bitched because GameStop found fault with Grand Theft Auto 5. Not GameStop, GameSpot, sorry. And gave it a 9.5 or 9.8 or something like that, or 9.1. It was something, 9 point something anyway. They didn't give it a perfect 10. How dare they, just because of that one little fault? And I'm like, well, if it's got a fault, it's not a 10.
Yeah.
Whereas you go over to IGN, who I enjoy some of the IGN stuff, but oh my god, with some of their reviews. Like, they've got a review up for The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD. And they describe it as perfect in every way. 9 point, like I said, 9.8. Their GTA one, in their review of GTA, they pick apart and they find various faults with the game. It's a 10.
What?
Why is this a thing? I mean, it's not like Grand Theft Auto has been splashed all over their webpage for the last 5 or 6 months and clearly has paid them with ad revenue and clicks. Clearly, I mean, that'd just be silly.
Yeah, that's...
Maybe their score system got messed up by mistake, and maybe the scores were switched.
Maybe.
It happened.
I don't think they're gonna switch it back then.
People make errors all the time on computers. Hell, just the other day as I was typing on here, I accidentally put computer. Geeky Girl got my reference.
Oh my god.
I referenced Lego City Undercover on Wii U.
I was like, I wonder if that comes up if you type in computer now.
Yeah, computer.
Computer.
Yeah, he goes, yeah, don't you mean computer? That's what I said, computer. I can't believe we said that. But yeah, anywho, but yeah, I feel, I don't know, I feel almost dirty seeing the review sites do that.
Yeah. Well, that's one problem I run across too, is that sometimes when something's popular, you don't want to like say bad things about it, but in all honesty, I think we need at least some of those, as long as it's, you know, being truthful. If you like GTA 5 and you don't give it low because you want to be different, but I mean, because there are tons of games that are like really popular and I don't like them, and you know, I will say so if it's relevant, but you know, a lot of people are like, oh, how can you not like that game? Like, because I don't. Like, sorry, someone has a different opinion. And I think it's important when there are differing opinions to not just fanboy ignore them, you know, because
sometimes
you just
hard.
You just need a little difference, you know, and it's not. I mean, as long as the person that, you know, is like, oh, I don't like this game and I think it should never have been made, as long as they're not like, you know, spitting venom out when they're talking and melting their screen, then okay. But
unless it's a Duke Nukem Forever review.
Yeah, okay.
Or an Aliens Colonel Marines.
Yeah.
Or if they're Phil Fish.
Or Pikmin 3.
Oh, God.
Shut up.
Fish. Yeah, no, if Phil Fish fell into a vat of acid that they were using to burn Colonial Marines, I'd be okay with that.
It fell into a pit of acid, and that's how we had Jack Thompson. That's his origin story.
Yes. Oh, man. That is to be in Batman.
It does. Batman.
I want to do that, sorry.
Everyone wants to do Batman.
I know.
But no, it's like you said. I mean, I'll admit when I do some reviews, I do when I'm going to do some of them. If it's something that's like completely fucking horrible and I'm doing the review, I at least try and find some positives as well. Because I try and look open. I try and go into each review a little open-minded. Like for example, when I went into the Cartoon Network Punch Time Explosion XL review, available now. But I'm not just trying to hog my shit, I'm using this as an example. I didn't do the obvious that most of the people reviewing that didn't just go, Smash Brothers clone, end of, and I just give it a piss poor score.
Right.
I went in and I looked at what it did unique to the other one. I looked at what it brought to the table. How good was it in that like genre and stuff, and I found it a pretty enjoyable game, so I gave an enjoyable rating.
That's what I did with my Bastion one, because, like, at one time, I love the music and everything in it, but, like, I had played with a keyboard for the longest time, and that just made me want to die, and, and then I played with a mouse, and that was better, but, like, at the very end of this game, there was, like, this jumping mechanic, which was, like, almost freaking broken, and I just briefly mentioned that, and it just drove me insane, and, like, but I made sure I had, like, a list of positives and a list of negatives, and they are both equal. And I'm like, well, here are the negatives, and here's a positive. Make sure to say, like, equal, like, nice things about it as much as, like, the bad things.
You went about typing keyboard, weren't you?
Yeah, keyboard.
You know what I was thinking, don't you, Rick?
What?
When she said, yeah, because there was this one part with the music, because I played keyboards a lot. I was thinking she was playing the musical instrument, the keyboard, so she was going to give musical critique at this music. And then I played with a mouse. I was like, oh.
Well, I do play the piano, but that's completely separate.
I know, but
Marcus needs to do that for his reviews now. Because he has a keyboard.
Yeah, because that was the way when you described it, because it was something with the music, because I personally played with keyboards for the longest time, I was like, oh, it's going to be a musical critique, it's going to be in depth. And I also played with a mouse. I'm like, oh god, this is not what I thought. But you made a different point, which is fine.
Yeah, I'm saying I went out of my way, but like I just made sure to give it like all the good points that I had and make sure it's equally known.
Yep.
That's a good way to do it.
It's like Richter did on one of his sites, on one of his reviews. He gave Power Rangers, Samurai, Connect, you actually gave it some positives, which it could be better than the Wii one. The Wii one was horrible. I found some positives in there, yeah, and I was like, okay, this is good, but oh my god, that game's fucking horrible.
Yeah. It did have some positives, and it tried some stuff. It wasn't that great for me, but my kid liked it, even though he was really terrible at the Megazord parts.
Everyone's terrible at the Megazord parts. They've never done a Megazord right. And I hate to say it, I played as Voltron the other day in the Voltron game. It plays like the Megazords and that. I was like, oh god, no, why? Why can we not just get a giant robot that plays like a giant robot instead of like some sort of quick time event?
Yeah.
But we're digressing. But yeah, the paid reviews, I personally think they're hurting everyone. Because, like you said, it's basically an advert, and it's not just that as well. It's not just the fact it's an advert, so you might not trust that review. If sites do that too often, you're not going to trust their reviews. And let's say a small, low-budget game that's just come out from Kickstarter or something is now available on PS3 or something like that, and they give it a review. It's a game not many people have heard of, and it's actually really good, and they give it a glowing review. People are going to look at that review and be, oh, they paid them off, I'm not interested in that game.
Yeah.
And that'll hurt the small games too.
I mean, I still use these same sites for like other stuff like guides and things, but I don't trust the reviews sometimes.
Yep.
It's like not like they have other good stuff they do. It's just the reviews sometimes. Like, meh.
Yeah, it's like the one I use mostly for scores if I'm on the fence with a game is I'll use Metacritic. Just because I'm like, okay, I can see a compile, and I'm not even looking at the total number of scores, I'm looking at the total number of negative scores. Because I'm like, okay, maybe people have been paid off so this score's high, but there's going to be some people out there that don't like this, that may have done an honest review. Let's see, and I go down and look for the more honest reviews than the glowing 10 out of 10s.
Well, I remember when I would look up scores on, like, game FAQs, cause, I would try to grab the highest one, the lowest one, and the medium one, and look at all three to kind of compare them.
That's good.
That's a good way of doing it.
Yeah.
I also like to find people who don't get paid to do reviews.
Yeah. That's a good way of doing it, the only downside to that is on game FAQs with the game FAQ reviews. The negative one will be describing it as, oh my god, this is like what if Hitler had sex with that sea hag from The Little Mermaid, and then they'd had a child. And then she'd grown up to review Pikmin 3. No.
What?
No, I'm kidding. Then that child then grew up to run for presidency and managed to be more evil than both of its parents. That's what this game is.
It's Stewie?
And the most positive one will be like, oh my god, I was crippled, I was in a wheelchair, and then this game, it told me to stand up, and I stood up. And, oh my god, I've seen the light! This game is like the most holiest of things. Whereas the middle one will always be, okay, it had some faults and some positives.
I picture, like, one of the highest ones is, it's ironic that they call it Half-Life, because after playing it, I was able to live a full life.
Yeah.
Don't actually say that.
I haven't read, yeah, well, like, if I start to read it and it looks like it'll be something like that, then I usually just back out, but...
Yeah, it's like, I actually saw someone give a review once. That's another thing that annoys me with reviews while we're on the topic.
Uh-huh.
I don't like reviews that don't get what they're reviewing.
Yeah.
Because I've seen people review some Dragon Ball Z games, and they've been like, all the characters kind of look the same, and they all do, and they all have basically. It's a game where you're having to kill each other and fight and use blasts and stuff, but there's not much story here. And I'm like, it's for the fans. The fans already know the story. The fans know these characters. They look the same because it's the same fucking artwork.
Yeah.
It's like I saw a complaint for one of the Dragon Ball Z games, because they had a couple of female fighters in there, and they said, it can't be a fighting game because the females in there are not quite as scantily clad as they're supposed to be, if you're after this genre. And I'm like, what? Am I reading this? And it was like the greatest thing ever, because he was like, in order to be a fighting game, you need blood, you need gore, and you need scantily clad women. And I'm like, yes.
Not a real game if you're not showing tits.
that was wow.
Yep.
That's a great review for anything. The women aren't scantily clad enough, so it's not this type of game.
Yeah.
So even by his definition, I don't think Dead or Alive would be a fighting game, because I don't remember blood in it.
No. The only ones I can think of is possible Mortal Kombat, maybe Blood in Soul Calibur.
There was, in, like, Street Fighter 2, you could, like, sometimes they'd throw up, and sometimes it was red, so that might go. Or, like, yeah, so it'd be, like, Street Fighter 2, Killer Instinct, and, Mortal Kombat. Wow.
What about does Soul Calibur have any?
I don't remember it having blood, which is funny considering they're like hitting with giant swords.
You can turn
and stuff.
on or off the blood. You can it's a bar. You can measure it. So if you wanted your 6-year-olds to play it, you could make it 6-year-old approved by turning off the blood. And you know.
How's this going by the same definition?
Mm-hmm.
WWE 2K14 will be more of a fighting game than Street Fighter 4. Until like Ultra Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, Scantily Clad Woman Edition comes out.
The guy that reviewed that was also confused about GATV and was wondering why Saints Row is promoting Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. He's probably the same person. It's like, but I'm playing this new Super Mario on Wii, and it doesn't seem to have much of a story. Why is this plumber killing mushrooms? It doesn't make much sense. Not supposed to. It's meant to be a good game. But no, we've exhausted this topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I shall end it here. Thank you for joining me. Pew 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 pew.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for joining me, Stacy, or Geeky Girl, or Anastasia, or Laserbeam.
Yep.
Or Chaos.
Chaos? What the like?
Chaos, Kristen Stewart.
Oh, I thought you said chaos.
No, not Chaos. Chaos Control. And thank you for joining me, Hammy.
Yep.
And I would thank Kage, but we seem to have lost him due to technical difficulties. But peace, or see ya.